There is more to your story because God is the author of it. And with him, there's always more, and it's beautiful. So let's talk about it today on the show. Stephanie Nelson is here. She has written a brand new book called Imagine More, which I love. Welcome to Spirit 105.3.
Hey, thanks so much for having me. It's great to be here.
I think your book is so timely because I have been thinking lately about how it is never too late to pursue your dreams, that there's always another chapter God is writing in your life. For example, there's an NFL star who is no longer playing football, but now he's a professor at MIT. And that just energizes me. It fuels me with hope because I believe God loves when you and I reinvent ourselves. Do you believe that too?
That's exactly right, because if you think about it, Erica, the older we get, the more experience we have. We've gone through some rejections. We've seen that they're not the end of the world. Hopefully we're a little wiser. We're a little more confident. I think God can use us even more when we're older. We can't give up in the last quarter. You know, the basketball game is won in the last couple of minutes.
That is so true. So how do you not give up? Like, how do you avoid complacency and start dreaming again, Stephanie?
Well, it's interesting because I'm reading a book right now talking about happiness, and the majority of people want to be happy. We might not say it out loud, but that's what we want. And the key to happiness is having a sense of purpose. When we focus on ourselves, it's easy to get blue, but when we focus on, hey, what can I do with something that I love to do? What can I do to help other people? So I think it's this simple equation, which I heard a speaker say 23 years ago. She said, if you have something you love to do, if you can figure out how to use that to help other people, then you have found God's exciting plan for your life. And you're going to end up having satisfaction and purpose. And a side benefit will be that you'll be happy, but the point is you'll be helping other people.
Isn't that incredible? I love that equation. So let's talk about somebody, Stephanie, who maybe hasn't figured it out yet, what their passion is, what lights them up. How do you go searching for that?
Well, there's two ways. One is to say, okay, first of all, pray about it. Pray about whatever it is that you love to do. You can also do it another way. You can start with who might need your help. We all have something or someone who kind of breaks our heart. It breaks our heart to see them suffering. You can focus on that and say, how can you use me to help those people? So either using what you love or seeing someone you can help. And, you know, I prayed about it every day 23 years ago when I heard the speaker tell this equation. And seriously, on day 11 of praying about it, this aha moment came up and it started a 20-year journey for me.
Oh,
so,
my goodness.
Yeah, I think God will show us. I don't think it needs to be that hard.
I think you're right. Now, let's say you're somebody like me. I know what lights me up. I want to write a novel, but it's that whole time thing, Stephanie. How do I, ignore that feeling, move past it, and live my dream out?
Well, I'll tell you, Bob Goff, the amazing author Bob Goff, coached me through writing this book. And he said, you know what? Take a look at your life. What are your distractions? Are you watching a couple hours of TV every night? How much time are you spending on social media? Just carve out an hour a day. And believe me, Erica, you're going to find an hour. You don't have to sit down for 10 hours a day to do it, but you can carve out a little bit of time, and it's going to energize you more than those mind-numbing other things do.
You are so right. And when I think about your book and the subjects that you so beautifully wrote about, Stephanie, I think about the promise in Ephesians chapter 3 in the Bible. I think it's verse 20, that God is always going to do more than we could ever ask or imagine. So how do we keep that thought on the front burner of our lives?
Well, that is what the book title is based on, that verse. And I say this, science actually shows that our brain is only capable of imagining the future based on what our past experiences were. Wow. We physically actually can't even imagine these things if we continue to remind ourselves of that, and God tells us that in the Bible, it's actually true in our brains. But upon reflection, if any of us look at the amazing things that have happened in our life, look back a few years ago and say, did I see that coming? No, I didn't. So if we can look at our experience and say, you know what, I'm just going to trust God again on this one. He came through for me before. I'm going to trust him. I might hit some bumps in the road, but I'm going to learn from those.
Oh.
Something amazing is in front of us if we, back to what I said, we think we're helping other people, but their gratitude ends up filling us up more than we could have imagined.
Isn't that the secret right there? Sometimes I consider we have this God who dreamed us up. He dreamed up a Stephanie and Erica, the person who's listening right now. And I feel like tapping into our creator in that regard, like Jesus, make me passionate, make me creative. I believe he answers prayers like that, don't you?
I absolutely do. I mean, I said my answer that I received from God on my prayer 23 years ago was all of a sudden I had this boundless energy for this project, which I didn't come up with that myself. But you kind of need that boundless energy and enthusiasm to do the hard work because you may end up having to do a lot of hard work in the beginning without help. But God gave it to me. It wasn't from me.
Absolutely. And if we could operate out of that, I think it would be a lot easier. Stephanie Nelson, author of Imagine More, thank you for hanging out with us on Spirit 105.3 today. And I hope you come back again.
Absolutely. And thanks so much for what you're doing. I love it.
Oh, thank you. Have the best day, my friend.